All right, we're rolling.
Okay. So today,
from the Fernando and Freddy show.
Why isn't my name first?
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Reddit on Reddit.
on Reddit,
I'm Fernando.
I'm Freddy.
All right, so I saw something, and it's been news the last 2 days. Of course, with the coronavirus and everything like that. But this is along the lines of it, but it's not coronavirus. So I'm just going to read what it says. So yesterday, Trump temporarily banned all immigration into the United States, and many Democrats seem to lose their minds. So let me get this straight. We should all stay inside and shelter in place, Pelosi's exact words, but simultaneously let thousands of unknown, untested immigrants to be coming in at the same time? How does that make any sense at all? And I don't mean to sound partisan or devised. It's a legitimate question I'm asking. Bam. So, I mean, it's true, though, like all these people are staying at home and people are saying like, oh, why are we stopping immigration? Well, I did do a little research into it. And my original reaction to that was, wow, what does that mean? Who, how? And I was like, what, bigger wall? And
what? Bigger wall?
Like this was just all stuff that was going through my head. And so I was going to ask you, what?
Okay, ask me. Because I was going to say, ironically, I've been reading that they have stepped up production of the wall right now.
Oh, like, really?
During a pandemic, yeah, let's start building the wall right now. Like, I don't think anyone's worried about a wall right now. I think we're worried about
Freddie,
like being able to
jobs. It's job. No, I'm not going to argue that.
No,
but,
it is. No, it is.
So what I was, doing the research and doing a little bit of reading into it, and it's for legal immigration. So for the next 60 days, he's going to put a hold on legal immigration. So people that, are attempting to get green cards and legally immigrate into the United States are getting a hold on. So, I mean, of course, for illegal immigration, it's a little more difficult. But for the people that are actually doing the work, well, for people who are actually doing the work, and it's not necessarily, oh, they tried last month or they tried in December. They've been trying, people who have been in the process for months and months and months. So
yeah, to get here.
So Trump said Tuesday, so this would be yesterday, that he's going to sign an executive order to temporarily suspend the issuance of green cards, saying it is needed to protect American jobs amidst the unemployment crisis during the coronavirus pandemic. So U.S. citizens will still be able to apply for green cards on behalf of a spouse or a child, but other family members or people applying through a business or for employment are not going to be allowed to for 60 days. Now, between October 2018 and October 2019, there were 577,000 immigrants that came into the United States legally. So within that year. So, I mean, I guess he's stopping the immigration, and his reasoning for it is to protect American workers and to protect American jobs. So that way we're not bringing in all these people who are going to, take the jobs away from the Americans.
But do they even have the right to work immediately when they come in? I don't think they do.
Well, I believe that this is like their process of, from what I understand, is getting a green card. And once you have that, or you can work on a visa. So like if you were to come into the United States and you have a visa, you can work. So this, what he's stopping are the issuance of, the green cards or allowing people to come in. But now, for example, like if somebody got married, they can still get their spouse that green card, or they can still, get their children, these green cards. So it's not completely stopping it, but it's just stopping it from people who are coming in legally, for work purposes or to, to live here.
I think you didn't ask me what I think, but I'm going to tell you what I think.
Yeah, tell me what you think.
I think, as usual, it's always short-sighted with him, because the first thing I thought when you said that they're stopping legal immigration, and I'm thinking to myself, but let's say this is a doctor coming to replace a doctor who died, or a nurse. I mean, we have so many people dying right now, and those are in need. So, like, is a specialty visa included in that immigration visa, or is that
so? Let
different?
me continue. So earlier drafts of the executive order would have also suspended the issuance of new visas. But the New York Times reported that Trump also decided against doing so or pushback. Um, doing so after pushback from business groups that rely on foreign workers. But this is particularly for the tech sector. But I saw that 17% of all healthcare workers are immigrants, and 25% of all doctors are the immigrants. So if we
Yeah.
stop our, immigrants from coming in, we're going to lose 25% of our doctors. I mean, think about it. How many nurses are immigrants? How many healthcare workers, people that, take care of your grandma in a nursing home? Um,
A very, very big majority are immigrants,
yeah.
which is, I mean, which
So,
which makes no sense to block all those people we need at a time like this.
but if it if it's saying, how what I don't know the percentage of how many of these people coming in are in that field. Um, there's
Well, but
plenty of other
they
fields
could
too
be
that
being recruited though, because remember earlier we were talking about the some of the doctors and nurses quitting their jobs because they were unable to take care of their families and whatnot.
mm,
And they said that they were literally being replaced even the same day. I mean, that it's such an in-demand job right now. And nursing was a very in demand even before all this was
right.
the I mean the salary, the starting salary they said was about 100,000 now because it is so in demand.
So right, but I just don't know what percentage of the people coming over, immigrants, actually do work in the healthcare field or are nurses or are doctors.
Well, I
And I'm
imagine
sure.
anyone who's trying to immigrate right now is obviously in either in a very, well, I guess maybe not. I was thinking like, but who would come right now? Like,
But it's not necessarily like right now. It's the whole process. So, I mean,
yeah,
it's not
which
a quick process. I
yeah,
mean, it
that's
can
what
be a
makes
very
doesn't make
time,
sense then.
right? So it's just eh, he's stopping the issuance for 60 days. So he's just stopping it for 60 days. Um, and there's a lot of people that are saying that this was all part of his plan, and he's just using this pandemic as an excuse to stop the immigration, stop people from coming in. And I saw a 2015 um speech that he had given, and it was pretty much saying, oh, we're going to stop immigration, this and that. Well, and now he has the perfect opportunity to do it. um but going further, so farmers have also been voicing concerns about potential labor shortage. The
Uh,
pandemic, what's that?
no, that was the next thing, literally what I was going to say, because I was watching that news report of all the fruits and vegetables rotting in the fields right now because
Right.
no one is there to work in the fields right now.
Well, it's not necessarily only that they have a shortage of people working in the fields, it's that it's costly. So they're spending money to harvest these fruits and vegetables, but they don't have the supply chain. So they don't have the correct or, the good supply of, drivers and people getting the stuff from the farm to the market. So yeah, they spend the money to harvest it. Well, where's it going to go? Is it just in a box and then it's going to rot when they actually had to spend the money to harvest it? So that's why a lot of these farms too are having to just tear up their fields because it's cheaper than actually paying to harvest their fields and then not having a way to get it from the farm to the table.
Yeah,
But
it's
what
such a
I
go
was
ahead.
also reading here, so the farmers are voicing their concerns for the potential labor shortage during the pandemic. It's threatening the food supply. They rely on seasonal agricultural workers, many of whom come from Mexico on what's called an H-2A visa. So 250,000 workers came from Mexico in 2019 on these visas, to work on our farms and, you know, help, get those strawberries out of the ground or, the potatoes or whatever they're pulling and getting them, with cheap labor to, come to our grocery stores. Because I can tell you that if you're paying me $10 an hour or, these, other Midwest states or whatever it is, like $6 an hour. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. Like, it's not going to
They don't
happen.
they don't even pay them that. They usually, a lot of them don't even make minimum wage. They're paid based off of what they harvest. So if they I think it was what was it? It was grapes. I think I saw where they were literally paid by the pound,
Oh my
and
gosh.
but it was like pennies. So like you had to really harvest so much, and they were like it's like backbreaking work, And it's just like those delicate fruits and vegetables, that can't be harvested by machine are yeah. I mean, there's no way it's 10 because look at what we pay in store. We pay almost
Right.
nothing.
I'm just giving like an example. Like even if you were to
Yeah.
pay me like $10 an hour, no way. Like no way. And my back right now, thinking about bending over picking strawberries, like I can already feel the pain. So
Can I tell you what would happen with me? Is I probably would end up eating more than I picked, and that would be my problem. Because I really because it would be, you're picking it right at the right time, and you just like
right. Oh, actually, I didn't even think about that. Could you imagine a freshly picked grape, like a red grape, like the perfect
no,
crunch?
I want
You don't
a
like red
green
grapes?
grape. I like green grapes.
Oh,
I like
I like
green
red grapes.
fruits. Yeah, you also don't like any type of seafood, so
Right. Um, hey, how were those sardines that you ate raw for lunch today on your salad?
they weren't raw, and it was dinner, and I had sardines with anchovies, and they were delicious.
Fish on fish. Hey, so um, well, now we're talking about legal immigration being suspended, right? Okay,
Yeah,
well, so the Trump administration has also implemented a system to swiftly turn away migrants arriving on the southern border during the pandemic.
yeah,
Migrants
we
from
already knew
Mexico,
that.
Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, they're processed in a field rather than going into those U.S. Border Patrol stations. And then without even like a medical exam, anything like that, they're sent back to Mexico. Do you know what the average turnaround time is for this? They come up, they're
Well,
caught, they're processed in the field rather than being brought over.
oh, well, I think I already read this. It was like 20 minutes or less.
No, more than that. It's about an hour and a half, 96 minutes. So the people are caught, brought over, processed real quick, getting all their paperwork done, probably their photos taken, put into the system, and then they're turned around and
Mm.
sent right back into Mexico. So, usually I guess they would be arrested and they'd be processed and brought over into a station and they'd be given a medical exam, fed, whatever the cases are. And then, it'd be a lengthier process. But now they don't even want them, coming any closer. And I mean, it makes sense too, with coronavirus. Like, what if, they are infected, this or that? The
No, the
less,
infection rates are much less outside of the US. If you look at the infection rate, I think of Mexico was only, if I looked yesterday, it was about 5,000. It was either between 5 or 8,000.
hmm,
Um,
I
you
don't know.
know,
Actually, you know what? I actually haven't looked at the Mexican numbers, not once. I've never once
why
looked at
not?
Mexican numbers. I don't know. I've been so
I'm,
focused on like us, New York, and like Italy. I haven't even looked at other areas. Oh, we had looked at China before too. Remember?
yeah.
So
Okay. Mexico's number right now. Oh yeah, so it was 8,000. So right now, as of today, it's 9,501.
total
So
cases.
yeah,
That's
confirmed
very
cases.
low.
Yeah,
That's
that's what I'm
very
saying.
low.
So it's not coming from the US when the US is approaching a million,
Well,
you know? So let's see. How many tested? Let me go down. Oh, they have a very high recovery rate, actually. They have more recovery than death. So they must be doing something right. Hold on. I think I have to go to the main page. I can't go to just Mexico's. They're 384 per million. Total test 49,000.
okay, 49,000.
49,570. So that's almost 50,000 out of 9,500 cases. So they're not bad on their testing.
Yeah, like a fifth. But how many, like, what's their population? Like, how many people, they're only close to
Uh,
50,000 tests. We've done a
they're
lot
at
more
a
tests than that.
yeah, but we had a lot more a bigger spread and a bigger infection rate. I believe they're let's see. The US is at 13,000 right now, but we're about 370 million and they're 180 million. So they still got
Okay.
some testing to do, but let's see. Oh wow. See, Germany is almost double our number of tests.
Dang.
Yeah. per million.
So they're just doing more testing.
Yeah, it seems like that works though, doing more testing, because their death rate is only, or not their death rate, their total number of deaths is only 5,000
In
out of
where, Germany or
150
Mexico?
in Germany.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go back to Mexico. So
Okay.
something else that I thought was really, really interesting. So California's Governor Newsom announced, this was on the 16th, that California would be the first state to give financial assistance to undocumented workers who did not receive federal assistance, the stimulus check. It's coming from a $125 million relief fund, and it's going to give each adult in a household $500, but it's going to cap out at $1,000. So if you have 3 people in your house, you're only going to get a max of $1,000, but it's still $500 a person.
No, that's great.
And I mean, it's money that they didn't have before, and we're the first state doing this. But at the same time, I mean, it's quite a bit less than what the Americans get. But at the same time,
Yeah.
A and
Any
B.
help is help.
Right. But at the same time, what I'm saying is that these undocumented workers aren't paying taxes,
But
So
but you have to remember is that anytime you spend money in California, since this is happening in California, I'm going to talk about California. Anytime you're spending money in California, you're contributing. There's sales tax. There's taxes on everything. When you're buying gas, when you're buying a car, you're contributing to the system. And you're getting no benefit for it because you're not going to get a tax return. You're not going to get any write-offs, and you're more than likely paying everything out of pocket. So I mean, every time they're spending their money in the state, they're helping people with jobs as well. And
it's a little different too, and to argue that effect, because they're spending the money in the city. So say they're in the city of Los Angeles, or they're in the city of Long Beach, or they're in the city of Bellflower. Like, they buy something there, that money goes to city. It's not going to be California sales tax. It's
it still goes back to the city because you still have to pay a tax when you own a business to the state. So it trickles down, as they always say. And this one actually works. So but you have to think of it this way too. Going back to what we were talking about earlier about a lot of the undocumented workers working in the food business of harvesting fruits and vegetables. If those people are not there, and people like you and I don't want to work those jobs, what is going to happen to the cost of food?
It's going to go up.
It's not only going to go up. It's going to really go up. And it's not only going to just go up for food we buy in the store, it's also going to go up for restaurants because they get the same food that we eat from the grocery store. So all prices are going to go up all around. So, I mean, sometimes these policies are a bit short-sighted when they're like, okay, we're going to stop all immigration into the country because now we're going into spring right now. There are things that need to be harvested already. As a gardener, I know, if you were planting tomatoes.
Yeah.
I know I was going to use another example, but let's say tomatoes, they don't, they don't sit on all the greenhouses, the tomatoes are going to already start going out now. I've already seen that the people on the internet, like some of the farms are already, it's already tomato season. Florida was tomato season already, and those tomatoes are rotting on the vines, literally. So, I mean, there's hundreds of millions of dollars worth of produce is being wasted right now because there is no one to harvest them. There is no place for it to go. So, I mean, it's just that ripple effect is going to go so far and wide, and it's not just going to affect the undocumented community. It's going to affect everyone.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I agree with you, and in addition to prices going up, I mean, I think our shelves are going to, be a little emptier.
They're still empty. Have you gone to the grocery store yet?
Not recently.
Even here, they're still empty. Like this is boggling my mind. I can't find like risotto rice, round rice. I like sticky rice. I don't like long grain rice. I can't find it anywhere. I mean, I literally been to 4 stores. I can't find it anywhere. Like in a 25-mile radius.
I'm
Can't
talking
find
more
one.
of like the produce. Like the produce section is going to be like wiped out. Like they're not going to replenish
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah,
You
no,
know, I
that's
mean,
been wiped out here.
I can't understand how someone can go and hoard apples. That's not like they can freeze them. They're going to go bad.
Well, it's
Um,
not hoarding. It's just it's also getting them. Well,
well,
apple season is pretty much
comparing
past
it.
though, but
Well,
yeah,
I'm using it as an example, but like to
yeah,
compare it to rice, where people can buy 50 bags and keep it in a dry room because it's not going to go
yeah,
bad. Whereas an apple, you can't hoard that. So I understandably, rice, the shelves can be empty. But with produce, like people aren't going to go stock up on it because it's not going to last. But what my
but
concern with
if it can't be harvested, it's not going to last
right,
either because
right,
it, no one's
it's not going to
harvesting it right now.
so it's not going to end up in the stores. So
I would have to
produce,
actually. This is making me
what?
think. I wonder what the price of salad, just like a green salad, is if it's gone up or stayed the same right now, and the price of tomatoes. Because I know onions have been impossible to find, onions and potatoes.
Hmm.
I don't know why though, because those would have been planted months ago. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a harvesting thing, but those things are usually harvested by machine. So I don't know what the limiting factor is there, or maybe it also could be in the distribution warehouses because there has to be people to do the quality control to load them into the baskets. I mean, all these jobs are closed down, just like the meat plant that had over
Yeah.
400 closed. What is it? JBL
Is that in France or here in the United States?
in the United States.
Oh, I haven't heard of JBL. I heard of the Tyson plants closing or not
Yeah.
closing, staying open, but with all these cases and stuff. And so that was actually kind of worrisome because it's like, well, are we going to run out of packaged meat? Like, if they're going to close down these factories and these plants that are,
Yes.
packaging meat,
Did you not
what's
see
going to
that?
happen next?
They already declared that last week that there was prepare for a meat shortage.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, because there's no one to the two biggest meat processing plants in the U.S. have closed down because of coronavirus. One of them had 457 cases, I believe, and something like 8 deaths, I believe.
Well, because
So
last night I
wait, hold
had
on.
seen that
400 cases of coronavirus is in one business.
that's a lot. Well, you got to think how many employees do they have too.
Yeah, but
But
can you imagine to not? I mean, and those people are already wearing the PPEs. They have the gloves and the because they're cutting the fresh meat.
And
That
can you
was just
think about this too, though? Like these people are infected with the coronavirus and they're packaging our meat. Like, is the virus living on that meat when it's getting shipped?
well, we cook our meat. We don't eat it raw. That's why you're supposed to
Right.
cook your meat at the proper temperature. So I mean, because that's not the only virus and bacteria you need to worry about. I mean, we have those E. coli and salmonella outbreaks with those things. So cook your meat.
Cook your meat. If you guys learned anything today on the Fernando and Freddy show, it's cook your meat. Thanks for watching, you guys. Remember to like, subscribe. If you liked our show, give us a thumbs up.
Let us know what you think about the immigration. Am I right? Am I wrong? Do you agree, disagree? We would love to know, hear from you. Don't just send it in private. Write a comment. Bye, guys.
Yeah, and if you guys like the show, we would love it if you guys subscribed. We're trying to get up to 50 subscribers. All right, so we're just a few away. Thanks, you guys.
Bye.
Why did it end?
From the Fernando and Freddy show.
Why isn't my name first?